What are the biggest mistakes that you see nonprofits making with Salesforce?
Yeah, so I think the biggest mistake is not planning to make the right investment in it, or a realistic investment. That's different for every organization, but if you're thinking it's going to be 10 free licenses, you're going to get it immediately, start using it, and it's going to be great. That's not realistic, and it's definitely a common mistake.
Yeah.
We see a huge number of organizations get the free licenses, get Salesforce, get in there and be like, I don't know what to do next. And then they stop using it. And they never really start using it, really. And part of that is because they didn't plan to make the level of investment in it to really make it work, right? So we've worked with a lot of like stagnant instances that have been around for years in some cases. It's like, hey, we got this. We never really used it, but now we need to figure out how to use it. And, an outside partner like Tackle can help answer that question is, hey, we recommend using it this way. If it needs to be a quick implementation, just get you into the system versus a bunch of custom, functionality. There's different things there. But you have to anticipate needing to invest in it, and you can work with a partner to actually identify what is it we need to invest on a regular basis for that. There's a lot of metrics out there around, technology investments for nonprofits and percentage of annual budgets, but in reality, it ranges wildly between the technology itself versus the professional services as well. So there's just different things that go into that, but I think it just underscoring, if you don't plan to invest time and money into the platform, you're not going to have a platform that's very useful for your needs.
Yeah, I would say I've worked with quite a few organizations. When I first look at their Salesforce, it's a glorified phone book, right? They maybe did a data import, and it's got contacts and addresses and phone numbers, and they don't know what to do with it after that. So I think that's where that one, the Salesforce owner, some of the internal expertise, and bringing in an implementation partner or someone to help you with that makes a huge difference.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. I think that's huge. And a good implementation partner is going to be able to say, hey, if you guys have this level of budget to spend on this, this is what you should do with that. And that could be any level of budget. That could be $5,000 or $500,000. And your partner will be able to guide you, should be able to guide you through that versus having a cookie cutter approach, because what's good for a small organization isn't necessarily what's good for a medium-sized organization. Or what's good for a small organization with really complicated needs versus a medium-sized organization with really basic needs. Those are also completely different, right? And so being able to say, hey, this is what we think you should do with that investment, and over this period of time will be extremely beneficial. That's where you can really utilize expertise that is hard to find answers to otherwise.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good point, and a mistake that I think we see nonprofits make as well is thinking that a Salesforce implementation is kind of a one and done type thing. Oh, we did it, we're done, right? We'll never have to do that again. Where I think the ones we see be really successful with Salesforce is they see it more as an incremental, ongoing process.
Yeah.
Right. So you'll implement some systems, some ideas, some workflows, some automations, get that working. Okay, that's great. What's next? And then you're always making those improvements. And again, it's always coming back to what is that return on investment? If you can formalize, automate, create workflows for repetitive processes, and then build that into the software, you're going to save time in the long run, save money and time in the long run.
Yeah, and that's a really good point too, because a big difference between like large organization implementations and even medium-sized organization implementations, it's a mouthful, is that a large organization, when they decide to change a platform, they are going to expect a multiple year process to do that. They are going to want to develop the new platform with a whole bunch of customizations and a whole bunch of stuff. And they want to do it all together as soon as they can through that transition period, and then move it over, right? And they're going to have tons of users to plan for, and they're going to need to make consistent investments after that. But what we also see is, typically the budget's available to have staff then take over the platform and continue developing it with still input from outside sources, but there's just a little bit more of a, now we own this. Medium-sized organizations really benefit from a more incremental approach, where it's like, hey, we need to get into this platform. Here's the base functionality we need to sometimes just recreate what our old CRM could do with some maybe improvements around reporting, right? Get in there as fast as we can. And hey, now we want to build out this moves management process, and we go through a project or a series of small projects to do that. Again, it's about the timeline against the amount of investment that you have to make. So we may cut things up, right, over multiple different annual budgets even. But that process means you get in there quickly and you're able to start utilizing the system. Even if you don't have every single benefit from it yet, you're already getting benefits from the get-go. And I think that's something that you should never discount. And, if you're a medium-sized organization or even a small organization and you're like, man, I can't do a 9-month implementation that finally results in something. Well, you don't have to. And, we really focus on that kind of work and that kind of implementation. It's like, get you in there and then help you over the near, medium, and long term to continue developing that platform for your needs. And one big benefit we find is that once your staff are in there, they can now see, oh, this is Salesforce. This is how that works. Yeah. And I have all these ideas now. I've got all these questions. And the engagement level is always higher in those situations, because now they're excited. Where if they waited 9 months, 12 months plus to get in there, what's going to happen is you're going to have staff turnover. You might have staff who were involved at the very beginning, but not during. And they're going to be like, why did we do this? And it creates a lot of change management challenges during and after the project, where getting your staff in there and engaged at a high level almost from the very start results in just a really successful and smooth transition into that new platform. And it is very interesting to see the differences and results of how that works.